The untold truth about Young Thug isn't just about his music. It's about how a kid from one of Atlanta's roughest neighborhoods revolutionized hip-hop while battling personal demons and a system determined to bring him down. Born Jeffrey Lamar Williams in 1991, Young Thug grew up in Sylvan Hills, a neighborhood so dangerous that surviving to adulthood was considered an achievement. As the second youngest of 11 children, Thug witnessed violence daily, with several of his brothers ending up behind bars before he was even a teenager. What most people don't know is that Young Thug was expelled from school in the 6th grade for breaking his teacher's arm. He never returned to formal education, instead turning to the streets and drugs by age 12. The Atlanta rap scene that birthed Young Thug was already legendary, having produced icons like Outkast and T.I. But Thug was determined to create something entirely new. His breakthrough came in 2013 when he signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 Records. What's fascinating is that Gucci Mane signed him based on instinct rather than commercial potential. He saw something revolutionary in Thug's unconventional style. During these early recording sessions, Thug developed his now famous approach of rarely writing down lyrics, instead improvising most verses in a single take, a technique that shocked veteran producers. By 2014, Young Thug's unique vocal style, ranging from melodic singing to high-pitched squeals, was capturing industry attention. What many don't realize is that when he released Stoner and Danny Glover, major label executives were completely divided. Some saw him as the future of music. Others thought his style was unmarketable. Lyor Cohen, music industry legend, who'd worked with Run DMC and Jay-Z, took a massive gamble by signing Thug to 300 Entertainment. Behind closed doors, Cohen faced ridicule from peers who couldn't understand Thug's appeal. Meanwhile, Thug was struggling with substance abuse that few outside his inner circle knew about, sometimes recording entire mixtapes during multi-day drug binges. The 2015 release of Barter 6 showcased Thug's artistic evolution, but what's rarely discussed is how this album nearly didn't happen. Thug was hospitalized just 2 weeks before the scheduled release date after collapsing during a studio session. Doctors warned him his lifestyle was unsustainable. Against medical advice, he checked himself out to complete the project. This determination extended to his fashion choices. When Thug appeared on the cover of his Jeffrey mixtape wearing a periwinkle dress designed by Alessandro Trincone in 2016, it wasn't just for shock value. Unknown to most fans, Thug had been privately experimenting with gender-fluid fashion for years, despite knowing the potential backlash in a genre often criticized for homophobia. What's truly revolutionary about Young Thug is his impact on language itself. Linguistics professors have actually studied his unique vocal delivery, noting how he treats his voice as an instrument rather than a vehicle for words. His mumbled, melodic approach prioritizes sound over clarity, creating emotional responses that transcend traditional lyricism. This approach influenced an entire generation of artists, from Gunna and Lil Baby to superstars like Travis Scott. In private studio sessions, these artists have admitted that without Thug's boundary pushing, their own careers wouldn't exist. Thug's business acumen remains underappreciated. While building his YSL record label, he pioneered a new artist development model. Rather than signing artists to exploitative contracts, he created collaborative partnerships that allowed emerging talents to retain ownership of their masters. This approach generated over $50 million in revenue between 2016 and 2021, though these figures were never publicly disclosed. Behind the scenes, Thug also invested millions in Atlanta real estate, focusing on neglected neighborhoods to create affordable housing, a philanthropic effort he deliberately kept out of his public image. The most misunderstood aspect of Young Thug's career is his 2022 RICO indictment. When prosecutors alleged YSL was a criminal gang responsible for multiple violent crimes, many in the media accepted these claims uncritically. What's rarely reported is that the prosecution's case heavily relies on song lyrics as evidence, a controversial legal approach that raises serious First Amendment concerns. More troubling, Several witnesses have since recanted their statements, claiming police coercion. Court documents reveal that investigators had targeted Thug for years, even when evidence pointed elsewhere, raising questions about potential racial bias in the prosecution. Throughout his detainment, Thug has maintained his innocence while suffering in harsh conditions. Few know that he's been denied proper medical care despite developing serious health issues in custody. His legal team has documented over 20 instances of civil rights violations during his pre-trial confinement. Despite these challenges, Thug continues creating music from behind bars, having recorded verses over prison phone calls that have appeared on tracks by Drake and Gunna. What truly defines Young Thug's legacy isn't just musical innovation, but resilience in the face of a system designed to break him. From poverty to stardom to legal persecution, he's remained authentic to his artistic vision. Critics who dismissed him as a passing fad have been forced to recognize his profound influence on contemporary music. Young Thug didn't just bend the rules of hip-hop, he created an entirely new musical language that allowed countless artists to express themselves without boundaries. As the legal battle continues, the music industry holds its breath. If convicted, Thug faces decades in prison, potentially silencing one of music's most innovative voices. But whatever happens in court, his cultural impact is already secure. From fashion to language to musical structure, Young Thug's fingerprints are all over modern culture. The untold truth is that behind the flashy persona and controversial headlines stands one of the most significant cultural architects of the 21st century, a visionary whose full impact won't be fully understood for decades to come.